He's right. You say like, "Hey, we should start a band in like next year or whatever."
That was me.
And the other was like, well, "What are we gonna do? Just drink all winter?"
Yeah, that was now.
Everybody, I'm Zach Primrose. Welcome back to Band Spotlight. I'm here today with Bitter Wind. How's it going, guys?
Great. Good. Pretty good.
Not bad, you know.
How you doing?
All right.
Quite the ride up from Boston.
How's the drive?
Yeah, from Boston to here was about, what, like 3
Very
hours,
scenic.
I think?
Yeah.
Yes, very scenic.
It's been a while since I've driven to the Berkshires and then upwards. So
Too bad it was mostly dark, though.
Yeah,
I know.
well, started out
Over half the
must be,
drive is dark.
like really awesome.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, last time I was up, like, around this area, or at least in the Berkshires, was the old man fell off, and I was driving up the White Mountains that way, so I couldn't get to see the old man, but it's fine. Whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, no one ever comes out this way.
Yeah.
Like, I'm in the middle of nowhere, basically.
Yeah.
So, well, thank you for making the drive. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having
Thanks for
us.
having
Yeah,
us.
thanks for having us, man. Thanks for hospitality.
So, for anyone that's watching that doesn't know you guys, just introduce yourselves and what instrument you play.
I'm Notos. I play the drums.
Boreas, I sing, play guitar.
Zephyr, guitar, and I sing sometimes.
Eurus, play bass, and that's about it.
I sing sometimes, too.
It's true.
I don't sing ever, so
He growls.
Get rid of that, too.
He's lying.
You got some backing growls on the first album.
They got, you know, a bunch of musicians and sometimes vocalists and
the bass.
yeah.
I feel that.
Yes.
I guess I'll ask some normal, boring questions. Yeah?
Okay.
So, why don't you guys tell me what your best description of your style of music is?
Oh, can I take this one? Or
Sure.
we just kind of.
He's like,
So I call it hard prog because it doesn't sound like 80s neo prog or like the modern prog that you get nowadays.
Yeah.
It's a lot more metal influenced, but we try and keep things experimental because we have like just a ton of musical influences. Like we use like a metaled up bluegrass part in a song that we haven't recorded yet, and you know, our first album's more like rock and metal and less progressive. We kind of just changed gears a bit after recording, but so I call it hard prog, or I just tell people it's like metal and dad rock.
Yeah.
Progressive metal's good.
Progressive metal
Catch-all,
works
I
too.
guess.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
works
I mean,
too.
like it's like
Like we don't sound like Pliny.
like Boreas said, it's like we all have very vastly different music tastes.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I feel like that kind of leads to some of the best bands, is just everyone coming from completely different musical backgrounds and be like, hey, let's figure it out.
Totally,
See what
yeah.
comes up.
Be like, I like this, you like that, and we all like this style. So let's do this style with weird influences. Like, why not?
Exactly.
Yeah, like the underlying like bass line, like common denominator that we all happen to like is metal in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
So that obviously comes through in the music. We started. How many years we've been doing this? Like 4 years now, 5 years now?
Almost 5.
Wow, close to 5 already.
Yeah.
So it started in 2015.
It's the two of us came up with the idea to start this, and I personally was at a point in my life where I didn't really want to play music anymore.
Yeah.
And then Boreas convinced me to be like, hey, no, let's start something. And I was like, okay, yeah, sure, let's just, you know.
You didn't want it, but you fucking needed it.
He's right.
You say
I
like,
needed it.
"Hey, we should start a band in like next year or whatever."
That was me.
And the other was like, well, "What are we gonna do? Just drink all winter?"
Yeah, that was now.
It's not a bad idea, but you know, we're like, no, let's start it now. So we got practice space, and I called Eurus I called Eurus. I played with bass with on and off for like 10 years or so. Boys who played music together on and off for a while now. And then my brother here, Zephyr, I called him up one day and was like, "Do you want to play in a band?" And he was like, "Absolutely, yes."
The kicker for me was like they were like, we've got a space in Whitman where we're gonna do it, and I was like, you have a practice space, because I was still living with the parental units at the time, and I was like, I'm not gonna turn up again until I get out of that situation. So those guys came to that and came to me and dropped that in my lap, and I'm like, here we go. So by the time Bitter Wind started, it was like the first time in like 10 years that I'd played in a band.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
And like one of the, we had like only a couple songs. I think what was the first song we wrote was Cold.
Yeah, that was the first one we ever
Yeah,
did.
that's the very first song off our album, Room 11, on Bandcamp. And
Shameless plug.
Bitterwindmetal.bandcamp.com.
or just Google Bitterwind Bandcamp for the first thing.
I'll post the links. You don't have to search.
Yeah,
It's all
down at
good.
the bottom there'll be a link.
It's like there's this thing called the description that nobody ever fucking reads. It's right there.
Go into the doohickey and do the thing.
Yeah, so we just started writing a couple songs, and just things just started coming together. And most of the songs that we wrote in that room, it was room number 11 in the practice space. Hence the name of the first album, Room 11. But we came up with this like esoteric kind of like design and stuff, where like we had a door. And it just kind of like leads into nowhere or whatever.
Is that this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got sigils and bind runes on the door. We did some nice wood burning, and so we played with the blowtorch a bit. It's great.
So I'm actually surprised. They're the first ones that actually brought me an album and a T-shirt. So any of you guys that are on the show in the future, take notes because I love free stuff.
We'll be setting up a merch thing on our Bandcamp eventually.
Yeah.
We probably should.
Everything's eventual.
I mean, if not, just go to their shows and buy their shit there.
That'd be better. We'd love to
That
see
works
you.
too.
Support the scene. Don't let
Yeah,
that.
man.
Don't let that. And so where was I? I'm just like spinning yarns here, like whatever.
Just go to the next question.
No, just keep going. It's good. It's all good.
So we like one of our. So we wrote most of that album in that space and a few extras. And one of our first songs that we learned together as a group, just to kind of warm up, was Rainbow Demon by Uriah Heep.
Because you're
Uriah's
Heep's
favorite song.
Still
because it's
hates
just
hearing it.
bass
Still-
note like most of the
still
time.
hates hearing the name.
Things were slow going for a little while, and then
Yeah.
we moved from Whitman to Taunton to practice at this place called Bandstand. And then
They're great. by the
Yeah,
way.
yeah,
If
Bandstand
you're,
was
if
really
you're in the South Shore, Massachusetts, Bandstand Live or whatever it's
Bandstand
called.
Live.
Yeah.
That's the name.
That's a place to check out.
It's really nice.
and then
Get like thumbprint activated doors and shit. It's great.
Yeah, it was wild.
Super high tech security, very
nice,
solid.
huge table. It makes you feel like you're on The Apprentice or something.
Right? It's climate controlled, so you don't
Like
have to
the
worry about
president's
your
gonna walk
guitars
out and tell
warping and
somebody you're
stuff.
fired.
Yeah, right?
It's been a while since I've been in an area that you needed like a specific practice space like that.
Yeah.
Like that someone's made basically a business out of just practice spaces. Just because around here there's so much space, it's just like
Yeah.
somebody's got a garage.
Right.
Basically.
Yeah, legit, fair.
So,
That's
Or shit.
oh man, that shed was so small. I loved it. I had a great time with all of them, but that was a tiny shed.
Room closet status. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like
Closet.
basically if that's the one wall, it's probably a little shorter than that, and then the other line is probably
Like
about
the
the edge of the
mixer
door.
thingy?
No, like the edge of the door.
Oh, shit.
It was like it was a small shed,
Yeah.
Nice.
but we made some great music. So yeah,
Believe it.
whatever works.
That's fucking crazy.
And that's the kind of thing where like they go back and like 20 years later you get like kids wearing your t-shirts like just getting into like weird black metal. It's like, oh yeah, they recorded this one in like a 4x12 wood shed. It's like the sound we gotta go for, man. It always starts like
And like little did they know, we wish that we could afford to go to like a really expensive place and actually record, but they're like, no, that's the sound. It's like, all right, whatever.
Yeah, why waste money going into a fancy place and then dumbing down the editing anyway and making it, when you can just record it in a shitty place?
just start all the way at the bottom.
Single microphone outside the door, so you get the wall sound.
Just muffles everything.
on some like galaxy brain shit.
Yeah, and then where do we practice now? We practice in Braintree, Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Just south of Boston, about like 20, 30 minutes. So.
Yeah, there's a ton of practice space in Boston. It's too expensive.
It's probably very expensive.
They charge so much for such small rooms. Like I checked out places around Charlestown and Cambridge, and it's just like it wasn't even like that much. But then when you see the room, you're like, okay, so you're charging us like $375 a month for a room closet. Awesome.
Yeah.
Like we could fit a drum kit in here.
That's about it.
All right, I'm all set. Awesome, cool.
That kind of sucks.
Yeah, I think actually, like, the last time I was in a practice space like that, I was auditioning for some band. This was down when I still lived in New York City. And I was like 18 at the time, so I had no clue how much it would have cost. And thinking back, they didn't like let me join the band. I think it was because I was too young and I had no idea how much I would have to pay for that fucking space with them. Because, like, I mean, then no bars would let me in. But,
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, that's like.
Get the,
But then I moved up
they have the
here.
X's on the hands. Like,
yeah, I moved up here. I've been in 3 bands since then.
There you go.
there you go.
I guess the rules of real estate and playing music are the same. Location, location, location.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
that's for sure.
I mean, you know, we've just been doing it all DIY. Everybody does it that way now.
Yeah, pretty
That's how
much.
it is.
Shitloads of gigs to go in Boston.
Yeah,
Playing
Boston.
Worcester. We finally broke into Rhode Island.
Yeah.
That took us forever for some reason.
Yeah.
Um,
It took me having to find the owner of the club's personal Facebook, contacting him, and be like, "Hey, we want a show. We want to play." So, and that got our foot in the door there. And then another band that we played a show at this place, Dusk in Providence. Great place, by the way.
yeah.
Awesome place. It's kind of like Vampire Bordello, kind of like vibe to it, kind of.
Very golf.
And
Lost Boys meets Dive Bar.
yeah, basically.
Pretty much that.
They legit had like a full-size, awesome, like Kiefer Sutherland
From
hanging out.
That's fairly new.
Last time
I wasn't there last
That
time.
was new. It was like brand new. I'm like,
sweet.
dude, that's awesome.
Yeah. But, you know, just been playing around in the Boston, greater Boston area, South Shore, you know, I mean,
Salem.
Yeah, Salem,
Worcester.
Yep, Salem, Worcester. So we've been,
Hopefully St. Vitus soon.
yeah. But what
Yeah,
we,
that'd be cool.
Yeah, I love that place.
I think I could speak for the band when we find that most of the time when we play a show in Boston, we don't sound like any of the bands that are on that night. You know, it's like we're something totally different to the scene, especially in that area. Where that area, it's a lot of like death metal and doom metal is like the two big, like really popular metals in Boston.
Yeah.
And we're kind of like the outliers, I guess, is how I feel. I mean, we've had bookers tell us that, you know, what
People actually
you guys have,
And
you
we've
guys
seen
don't
it in
sound like
practice.
anything on the same.
We've
Yeah,
seen them in practice.
yeah. They're like, you don't sound like anything on the scene, so it's kind of hard to find a show for you because
Yeah, that was
put you with.
that was the booker for Kodo in Salem.
Yeah.
So I was like, here, we played with these bands and it works. Like, hit up anyone on this list. We'll be fine.
The thing with that is, if you're that much of an outlier, that gives you more of a chance to stand out.
Yeah,
Like,
it's our
in a good
strength.
way.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So at that point, just be like, hit them up and be like, just put us on any opening slot, even if we don't match the bill, because then that'll get you in front of more people.
Yeah.
And before you know it, just because you're different from everything around there, you're going to be starting to get bigger shows. Just because you're you.
Yeah. That's one of the things that like we were looking into stuff about, like, you know, getting at people through media and whatnot, and like when you do that thing where it's like, oh, so what do you guys sound like? Because it always comes up. You don't. He loves it. He loves everything that has to do with this. Anyway, but like when they're like, we read something recently that was like, oh yeah, you know, don't go for like a huge band like a Metallica or like a this or like a that when you say you're identifying sound, because if you go for those bands that are making maybe like, you know, 10 G's less than those bands but have this name that people like drive across the country to go see, then, you know, you might be pitching yourself at like, you know, a fan that's willing to seek stuff out a little bit more.
Like, we've been compared to Opeth before a couple times.
Yeah.
But we don't sound like Opeth, which is weird. We like Opeth. Don't get me wrong. Opeth's good.
I think every single one of us.
I think we have more Opeth riffs than we do.
Probably. But well, I like jazz. But, like, I don't think we sound like Opeth particularly, but, you know, it's like, if we were to necessarily say, like, oh, sounds like Opeth, that wouldn't necessarily be as accurate as, like, sounds like this other band that's clearly in the same tradition as Opeth, basically.
Yeah.
I think we sound more like Enslaved, though.
Yeah.
Or Edge of Sanity.
Yeah. Another one that we get a lot is Aglock. And
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that was like, between Nodos and I, that was pretty big in high school for us. 'Cause, like,
Oh yeah, I know.
Just the notion of like that kind of that metal like and that connected like the nature and Thoreau and all that kind of stuff was really a completely new idea for me in particular. Like, Noda showed me like all of the metal that I learned about in like, high school and early college. So they have like one of my favorite recordings is the one EP. They printed like 1,000 of those. And
I got one.
I've got one. So
And like we all four of us have been playing our instruments for quite some time.
yeah,
I'm 30 now, and I've been playing drums since I was 8.
yeah. 34. I've been playing
34.
guitar since I was 8.
Yeah,
I've been playing guitar for almost 20 years, so
yeah. Between the whole band,
18 for me.
yeah, it's like that.
like
Better part of 2 decades.
I've been yeah. So we've all just been playing a long time. We've been in and out of different bands. You know, with some people that wanted to make it, some people that didn't want to make it, some people that didn't know what they wanted. You know,
Yeah, especially that one.
You know, and it happens. You know, you come across hiccups in the path, but in your path, you know, we feel like this is our passion. We all,
It's our baby.
we all put as much as we can into this. And you take even driving out here, come see you. That was one hell of a drive. You know?
Which again, we appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate you making the drive.
That's
Like,
cool.
It's definitely a trip.
Make it back. Yeah.
But you know, otherwise we're all pretty normal guys. We're all a bunch of fucking nerds.
Yeah, I was like hardcore weed trash when I was a kid. That D&D, video games,
We come together on
reading
like,
fantasy and stuff like that.
tabletop and like board gaming a whole lot now.
Yeah,
And
that's
like,
how we party.
I have quite the collection because I have very control over every other thing in my life. So I like to control the games I can play. So it's fine. So I got quite a collection of games that I usually pick from. We play a lot of games. We like gaming and we like gaming, beer, and movies, and other kinds of music, and just everything. You know,
Yeah.
so we're I think
Entertainment enthusiasts.
entertainment enthusiasts. Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
I find you like I feel like you find that in most metal guys anyway. Like they're the fact that like the can tab is right around the corner from that little like gaming shop.
Oh, yeah, Pandemonium.
And there was like a little board game shop right there. Like if there's a metal show,
there next
like most of the bands end up like there before the show for a little while at least.
Play Magic before the show.
In town, we used to have, in Bennington, there used to be metal shows in the game shop.
Oh yeah.
Makes me think. Not to get into a Hard Times article and a metal interview, but there was one really great recently that was I think we reposted it. You probably reposted it.
Probably.
It was,
Hard times.
it was like Ren Fair / Metal Festival double booked. Like
No one could tell.
No one could tell. And like both promoters had like banner success because everybody was there for basically the same stuff. Yeah, that would actually be really cool.
And the sheer amount of people you see at Ren Fairs wearing Rhapsody shirts is mind-boggling. It's ridiculous. it's awesome, though. So yeah, we got a new EP coming out.
I was just about to ask you.
I read your mind. Yeah, we're actually going to play the title track off of it in a minute, but it's called the Aether Void EP. That's one of the songs that didn't make the cut for our first album because
Money.
we fund everything out of our own pocket, so it's
You need a time adds up.
it does add up. Even when it's cheap, it adds up.
Yeah.
We got a pretty good deal. It's actually at Zen Beast Media in Leominster, Mass.
Shout out to
So yeah,
yeah.
Tony Simone.
Tony loves
guy.
Simone. He's also out there in. I mean, he played in Laddermath recently. I think he's
Laddermath and
doing that as well.
Pathogenic.
And the new group they've got going is Mimesis.
Sure.
So he's constantly in like 2-3 bands and doing the production thing.
He has his hands in every project. It's crazy.
Tony went to NAMM last year and had a performance there as part of the festival. So
He knows what he's doing, basically.
Our songs aren't very short either. I think like our shortest song is 5 minutes maybe.
Probably, yeah.
I think.
Yeah, that's probably Hounds Back Down.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean shortest period?
Yeah.
Not on the EP.
Yeah.
Just all together,
Yeah.
Oh, really? Think it'd be 5.
Probably 5 minutes.
Because
Yeah.
like
It's the only
our
one
first
from
release, Our freshman,
and that's still surprising. It feels like a cover
Our
song.
freshman release, I can speak English. Room 11 is about, it's only 5 tracks, but it's like just under 40 minutes total playtime.
Yeah.
And this EP coming up altogether is 16 minutes, 3 tracks.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you know, we really like to give the song some space. Breathe and grow.
Yeah.
I mean,
Just kind of let things
like,
evolve.
I grew up with like just listening to classic rock and you know, like Floyd and Zeppelin and
Oh,
all
yeah,
that.
right.
So
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
just used to long songs and
Yeah.
nobody is anymore, and it kind of pisses me off.
It's
It's
super
like-
annoying because it makes everything that much harder to sell.
Yeah.
Like I was thinking about like what song we were gonna do for today, and we've got a couple of like really cool like ballads and stuff that stretch on for like 8 to 10. And the first thought I had is like people are gonna click on that and be done at the 2-minute mark because like everybody just nobody just
You want that
takes
quick fix.
nobody takes the time anymore.
Yeah.
I remember like in high school when iPods first started coming out, and everyone was like, especially the ones that first had the speakers in them.
Oh, those are annoying.
Yeah, people would start playing things, and it's like, first of all, it's only like a 2-3 minute track,
Yeah.
and you're only listening to like 30 seconds to a minute of it before changing it. Are you fucking kidding me? Listen to the whole song. It's a short song. Just
Right.
finish it.
Yeah.
Don't change the song every few seconds.
I wasn't listening
Right.
at that point.
Yeah, exactly.
You clearly don't even like music. If you
Yeah.
do that.
And it's like, but I can sit down and listen to a 22-minute Floyd song and like not even blink.
And I was listening to King Crimson's Lizard Suite the other day. You know, love that piece. Nice 24-minute epic.
Yeah.
It's 1-2. You know.
It's a brisk 24.
I'm the one who's like stuck in progressive rock after the Beatles fell apart. He doesn't listen to music. No, unfortunately, I don't really give new music a chance.
Yeah.
I try, and it's just kind of like
Yeah, and rhythm section is like that's basically why I refer to us as like cross between modern metal and 70s metal because I really look at the stuff that came after the Beatles and prog coming in as metal, really, and like people, you know, I mean, I've heard you and Al say so many times like toes and metal, like it. I feel like it works on the same
It can be, but
things.
I mean,
maybe like you know
it clearly influenced
Zeppelin and
I don't know if it
Sabbath.
is.
Yeah. It may not be metal itself, but like I think it gave way to a lot of stuff there.
Oh yeah, no. Like 70s prog definitely influenced a lot in the metal genre
Yeah.
itself, which I think you can tell by listening to us.
Yeah.
Fairly obvious.
Pretty much. Yeah. So back to the EP at least.
Yes.
I was
So-
gonna say, do you guys know when that's coming out yet? Or?
So we're probably going to finish up in February. You said Tony's busy January, right?
I believe he's on the beat.
So we're going to be reaching out to him soon, so we can set up time to finish everything up in February. You know, we did pre-pro stuff, so we're just going to like
We also
we're
gotta
cleaning
kinda-
up our leads and vocals and whatnot, seeing if we want to change anything. Then we're going to go back in, bang it out, and hopefully release it late February 2020.
And so if you guys are watching this after the initial release and their EP's already out, I'll link that in the description. You guys just send me a link. I'll
Of course.
add
Thanks,
that
man.
whenever it comes out. And I think we're running out of time, so let's get to playing.
All right,
So,
sweet.
thank
Thank you guys so much for coming.
Thanks, man.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you very much, Zach.
Reach down all the way.
Doctor?
I So I hope you guys enjoyed that. I had a lot of fun hanging out with the guys in Bitter Wind. If you enjoyed the interview, I'm going to put, or if you enjoyed the performance, I'm going to put links to their social media in the description. Please follow those links, follow them, like their page, whatever. Just give them as much support as you can. And when they come out with a new album, I'm going to link to that as well in that same description. So if you're watching this after the album release, that'll be down there. If you liked the video, we put out as many band interviews as we can. We also do a bunch of other things like gear reviews and different little sound experiments and tutorials and things like that. So if you're interested in any of that stuff, hit that subscribe button, hit that little notification bell so you can be notified of when we come out with new videos. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in the next video.